Good evening and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is September 2nd, 2016. My name is Lynn and I'm your host. Welcome. We're kicking off another mystery. We're calling it the Brown Bag Mystery, and I have so much to tell you. And as you saw, Clue 1 was released this morning on the Facebook page as well as on simplycolorful.com. So if you haven't gone there, go there now and download Clue number 1 and the swatch sheet, because this week it's all about picking our fabric. What we don't know yet is what fabric is in the brown bag. We'll know that in a few weeks. For those of you who have become patrons, thank you. It's awesome. Your material's on its way. And for those of you who haven't become a patron yet, go to Patreon. So it's spelled Patreon, even though you're becoming a patron, patreon.com/simplycolorful. And you can see what it's all about. But anyway, welcome. I thought we would change it up behind me. You may recall this one, the Two Color Delight Mystery. I know several of you made it, and we love to see the pictures. This one's going into the quilt, the Marathon Quilters quilt show in a few weeks. And in fact, the pink one, right over there, is the one that my sister did. She actually did that ahead of time. She tested the pattern. And those hearts behind us, they end up being that big, and we did them paper pieced, and that didn't work well. Those were better just pieced the old-fashioned template way. Which brings me to this mystery quilt. This is going to be a doozy. D-O-O-Z-E-Y or just Y, I forget. But I looked it up several times, and I was spelling it with an S, but it's a Z. And the reason it's going to be a doozy is there are a lot of pieces, and it potentially can be very big. But you'll see, as we get into it, you can stop at a wall or a crib size. But I have written it to be 96 by 96 inches. Big enough for a double or a queen. So, I hope that you're dying to know more. Basically, the first clue is just all about picking your fabrics, which I have done, and I wanted to show to you how I have actually pasted them onto the swatch sheet. And we're going to talk a little bit about how I picked which fabrics I did and why, and we have to dive into color theory just a little. And I have my trusty Google, and I have access to the internet so that we can dive into it if we need to. But feel free to ask me questions along the way. FiberCast really is just all about what we can get done together in 60 minutes. So please pull out a project. If you're not doing the mystery, just follow along for fun. If you are doing the mystery, you can still be working on a project because, frankly, this week's clue, we don't have a whole lot of hands-on stuff to do. It's very unusual for a FiberCast. Very unusual. Can you hear the band downstairs? Marquet, they went downstairs with lyrics for the long, tall woman in a black dress. So, fingers crossed you hear that tonight. What else can I tell you? I have so much to tell you. It's just been a wonderful week here in the Northeast. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we sent out a lot of bags. So that's exciting. I know some of you have received them. Others of you, it should be tomorrow or Monday, or maybe Tuesday because it's Labor Day. But you won't. Don't worry. You're not going to need this until the week after next. So not the 9th, but the 16th. We will need this. And probably next week, at the end of the show, I will let you know what's in this, so that if need be, you can go find it at your local quilt store. Anyway, a lot of talk, not a lot of doing here. So let's, first off, I wanted to talk about value. Color is a combination of hue and value. And hue is actually the actual color light that something projects off it, as in a prism in the color spectrum. So this is orange, that the hue is orange that it's projecting back. Value is how light or dark it is. And that's tougher. This is probably a dark. And I must admit that as I was preparing this and as I was selecting my own fabric for this mystery quilt, I have a hard time deciphering mediums. I let the color, the hue, get in the way of deciphering the light and dark. Like behind me, those piano keys, I guess it's pretty easy to see the light and dark and the mediums, but see how the contrast is there? We're going to do a little exercise to put it in more perspective. So anyway, the mystery quilt will benefit from being mindful of the value of the colors you pick in addition to their hue. I think I said that right. What I thought I'd do, though, is, and this is kind of funny, so there are a couple of ways that I have discovered and read about, and you may have other ways to figure out the value of fabric. One of them is to use red glasses, or it's a ruby bar. I have one upstairs in the attic somewhere that has a square out of it. Of course, do you think I can find it? Being in temporary quarters is getting old, because it's going to mean that I'm going to end up with two of a lot of tools. Anyway, I went and bought this with my Joann's coupon. I wanted to remind everyone, if you have a Joann's in your neighborhood, they have a 60% off coupon for Sunday and Monday of this week, anything regular priced. So, Mom, I was thinking of getting you some of those Fisker scissors with the sheath that goes over it and covers it. I might just do that, 60% off. How could I not? You know, we can never have enough scissors. We all know that. And we know from earlier this summer that I somehow misplaced my mother's good scissors. Anyway, so because I couldn't find my ruby one upstairs, my red, I went to Joann's and I used my 40% off coupon, and I bought this, what I thought was a value assessor. Turns out it's a machine seam gauge and adhesive guide. And if I look closely, it's by Dritz. If I look closely, there are actually little tiny dots in it, so I can measure my 1/4 inch seam and my 1/2 inch seam, my 3/8, etc. So I don't actually, in fact, have this tool, so I can add it to my arsenal. But the reason I got it was to show you how to use it to assess value. For anyone who might not have one, or if you have one, use it. If not, I prefer the camera method myself, which is basically, it's a way to block out the hue of a color and just look at the lightness and darkness or the value. But I prefer using the camera, and we're going to do both. So the way you use this is you place different fabrics next to each other, and value is relative. Something can be a dark value when compared to something lighter, but when you put it with maybe something that's closer to its value, it can appear darker or lighter itself. Let me see if I can demonstrate that. So this reads to me white and light. This currently reads to me dark. If I put this, and this reads to me dark, if I put all three together, light, medium dark, and dark. Like I say, in the middle, the mediums, I have a hard time finding. Like this one, I think this one might be a little bit lighter, so I've got 4 grades there. But one way to do it is to literally use this and look down. And I have to do it with one eye because I have an astigmatism. And I have to tell you, when I take the hue out and I just look at the value, this one appears darker to me than this one. This one definitely is the darkest and this is the lightest, but these two are actually mixed. So that's kind of interesting, and we're going to test this. Oh, look, that'll even look darker. Huh. So let me ask you, light, dark, medium? Light. And again, it's relative. Light, dark, medium. And I know you can't really see this. It's not like the camera is showing you what I'm seeing through the red. But this is what you would do, is you would literally just look at your swatches and assess that that does in fact read quite dark, but actually not as dark as this darker red. But let me show you another way that I like even better, which is the trusty old glue stick and swatch. And this is what your sheet's going to do, is, let me get my scissors. What I wanted to do was just take a picture of this and show you on my iPad. I think it will come through. So that to me is a light one. And what I'm going to try and do is, so this one also reads light, even though it's a plaid. And this one reads light to me. As I say, the lights and darks are the easiest part, and I tend to go toward that, so I get a lot of contrast, which I think if you have to err on anything for your quilts, I would recommend erring on greater contrast. At least for this mystery quilt, it will help things pop. One other really important note on this mystery is choose fabric that has smaller motifs, because the pieces are so small. So, and you don't have to, certainly bigger motifs like this could be interesting, but you'll lose something. This one is more about visual illusion, and so you want pieces that can really read purely or cleanly. So even solids work. I have selected some of these, the Color Weave by P&B Textiles. I really like their colors. They're almost solid, but they have weave in them. I like that. I did go to the quilt store and I bought fabric for this. You could do it scrappy. You can do it scrappy. In fact, I'd love to see this done scrappy, but it will take a lot longer and more skill, to tell you the truth, to assess the values of scraps. But I would say if you consider yourself very good at identifying values of material, go for it. It would be stunning. It will be stunning. So here's one. Is that a medium? Looks like a medium to me. Or is it a dark? See, so what I'm literally doing is I use my glue stick. You get it at Joann's or anywhere, Walmart. And you'll do this on your swatch. So there's a Simply Colorful swatch sheet, and I'll go through this in detail. This is where you literally are going to pick colors A through M, and M is used in your quilt and is your backing. And then you're literally going to, once you decide, I want you to glue down the fabric underneath each color, and it tells you how much to buy of it. So color A, which I'm using a medium yellow, is 3/4 of a yard. You need to get that. And these are generous helpings. But we all can use some scraps, right? And literally glue it down. You're going to refer to these throughout the entire mystery. With so many different colors, we have to keep it all straight. So we can help each other keep it straight. But for this little exercise, I'm just using a plain piece of paper. And I'm taking these different fabrics that I think are light, medium, dark. And then I'm going to take a picture of it and turn it into black and white and show you the black and white picture and see if you agree with the placement. Now this, I'm going to say is medium, but we'll see. Maybe I think this might be medium too. And I can't say that I am 100% confident in my ability to do this. So I would say I'm pretty much a novice when it comes to, again, working in the mid-range. I'm good with the extremes, such as being life when you're an emotional being, right? An emotional creative being. We know the extremes. It's very easy to be up or down, but in the middle, which is where is a very nice place to be. So, is that light, medium, dark? I think it's medium. But again, it's all relative, right? So I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to have 2 rows of medium. So I'm going to have a medium light and medium dark. So I think that's still a dark. Here's this. So send me any questions you might have about the mystery. Tell your friends about the mystery. It's definitely early on. You can get in on it. The pattern itself is free as always on the website on Simply Colorful. And the more the merrier. And like I say, but I do have to give, oh, excuse me. I keep thinking I'm going to hear the song. But this is Sweet Home Alabama. This is going to be a challenging quilt for us to get done in 8 weeks. Okay, so I think those are light, dark. What is this? I think that's a medium. But see how it's got some dark navy in it? I still think it's going to read medium. Let's try it. And then there's the whole thing of bright and dull, which has to do with tone and adding gray or white. And that further confuses the issue. In fact, all of the colors I picked do have a muted tone. I really shouldn't be allowed to talk about color. I only know what I read 10 minutes ago and then I forget it. But who's out there? I just heard a ding. Hey! Jean. Thank you, Jean. Jean tells me they played Long Tall Woman at the top of the show. Thank you. I knew they'd do that. Bob literally came up the stairs and he went up and he printed out the words. So thank you for letting me know that, and I will let them know that it was noted. Bob was so cute. He said, don't tell them because we haven't practiced it. We don't know if we can do it. So that's good. How are you, Jean? All right. So, excuse me, I forgot to. I love these glue sticks, by the way. Okay. So again, those look pretty light, right? These look pretty dark. That looks dark. That looks dark. Where the heck are our mediums? Maybe like that's a medium. Maybe I'm not reading enough. Like we could get a pure white. Here, let's do this. It's got a white background. Pure white background. I must admit, it feels very unusual not to have a project right here that I'm working on with you. Yeah, so that's very white. All right, so let's give this a try. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to use my iPad, and I'm going to take a picture of it. And then I'm going to turn it into grayscale. Aw, Jean says they crushed it. Thank you. I am going to let them know. Awesome. By the way, the floor upstairs is done. For those of you, who got a little bonus content there on Patreon, got a picture of Bob down on his knees sanding the floor. He has since polyurethaned it with 5 coats. Okay. So, here is the picture of it in color. And we're already starting to see that that looks really dark, and these look really light. I hope this works. Now the question is, if I turn it into grayscale by hitting Edit, or do mono, and the lights in the studio make this more difficult. Can you see that? So definitely we got the tops right. It looks like that one, which I think was the orange, is definitely darker than I thought it was. So I'm going to, oops, sorry. So that is a darker value than I thought. But I was getting fooled by the brightness of the orange. But it's really dark. Now, these do really well. So these definitely, the pink and the blue right there, are definitely reading medium. And I know it's hard to see this. Even this yellow, the bigger motif, is getting a little bit medium-y. So I got that right. But then as I go down toward here and here and here, that is definitely getting darker. So that's interesting. If I want to find some more like that to get us some more true mediums. Let me try this just to see if I've taught myself a little bit more. And hopefully showed you a way to do this, because next we're going to go look at the fabric requirements and definitely use your color wheel and pick complementary or split complementary or an analogous color set, and I'll tell you how many you need in your set. Then we'll go into values. Yeah, that might read kind of dark too, though. Let's see. Sometimes if you squint, that also works. I think that's more down there. See how it doesn't matter what the hue is? Okay, so I just added that and that. That still is probably too dark. I need something up in these. Let's see what this yellow does. See, yellow also can trick me, because I think, oh, that's light. But look at this. If we put it way up here, and I'm going to go take another picture and show you that it definitely is not light. It'll actually be down. Might even be might be there. All this color theory study doesn't allow us to make anything. But every once in a while we have to step back and learn something. I also want to start to say hi to everyone. Let's try this one more time. Now I'm going to take another picture. Okay. You know you're into fabric when you're looking at pictures of fabric and you think it's pretty. Okay, so there's the colors. Now if we again edit it and do mono. Oh! Hey! That yellow? Oh, it's not reading very well. Reads like a medium. It reads actually, well, it's even reading a little light there. So that's good, whereas the green that I put up there is darker. So you could see we could do this all day. So literally, that green is too high. That belongs kind of down in here. I hope this has made some sense. And I think the yellow fits down there. So again, if you were to squint at this, it goes from light to dark, regardless of the hue of the fabric. So that's one tip to figure out value. So now that we've talked about that, I did include a good link to someone over at Cornell who explained differences in color. I thought it was pretty good. There are lots of them out there. There are some real authoritative sources. The Elements of Color, I think, is one that's very good. It's been around forever. And certainly, I think it's something that one studies a lifetime of practical and book reading about color, and then you just kind of, you play, you experiment, and you practice, and you practice, and you practice some more. So I'm going to throw those over there, clean up the workspace here a little bit. And before I get into the next part of the clue and show you the fabrics that I am using, let me see who's out there. If you haven't, you can send email to lynn@simplycolorful.com, or the old way, if you have that in your browser, lmarquidant@gmail.com. Oh my goodness. I see you are out there. Sue Norton. Hi. How are you? Are you putting your gardens to bed yet? I was noticing today, I can't believe it's time, but I can definitely clean up some things, and it's been so dry that many of my things have died back faster than I would have liked. So I'm hoping next year they're not too taxed. Oh, let's see. We'll start from the top and we'll go down. Allie in Australia, hi. She says, good morning, Lynn, because remember it's Saturday there. Hi. And you are probably parked somewhere beautiful. She says, I'm excited about the new mystery quilt. I love mystery quilts. I've always had a hard time working out value, so I will try some of the tricks you are showing. See? She says, Allie also says, I'm okay with light and dark, but get lost in the middle. I did think of using the black and white photo method, so hopefully that will work. Definitely. She says, I have a few things to do first, like checking email and Facebook, but we'll get out fabric later today. Is this to be a scrappy quilt? Allie asks. Oh, you just answered my question, LOL. Good. So it can be scrappy. It'll be more difficult because we definitely are creating an illusion, and we need the values to do that. But you can do scrappy if you would like. I bought my fabric. First time I've done that in years, and it was fun. So, just one little note about that. I went to a couple of different stores. I felt good about supporting my local merchants, and I hadn't really considered that until recently. And there's just something about, do they have all of the fabrics, especially all of the new fabrics that one might want to see here within my 50-mile radius? No. But I love to touch the fabric. There's a new store, relatively new, like 3-year-old store down in Barrington, Rhode Island. It's beautiful. Jean, in fact, brought me there and taught us that. Kelsey and Jean and Chris and I went. And it's beautiful. But I just didn't want to drive that far. So I worked with what I had at the local quilt stores, and I'm glad they're there. I think it's hard to make a go of these quilt stores, but I can't imagine only having Joann's as my source. That would be a shame, because there's something about going and touching and playing literally physically with the fabrics. So anyway, that's my little plug. It's great to have the internet stuff, but definitely I'm into now shopping local when I can. Now that said, Bob and I bought lights for the house this past week on Amazon. We got a far better price than we would have at Home Depot, and they arrived in 2 days. And while I was at it, I added in some vacuum cleaner bags. Our Kmart went out of business. That's where I used to get my vacuum cleaner bags for my Kenmore because Sears was too far away. Now I just get it on Amazon. And like I say, it comes in 2 days. It can even come on Sunday if I order it on Friday because the U.S. Postal Service is shipping Amazon orders on Sunday. And I know that because I've spent a lot of time in the post office this week. Did I mention the brown bags? Okay, so Allie, I got off track there. Yes, you can do Scrappy if you want. You don't have to. Ooh, this is a smart tip. So here's a tip. Allie says, I use a stapler to attach fabric samples to the chart. I'm not sure if I will get the first few clues complete before we go away again, but we'll finish the mystery when we get back. We will be away for 3 of the 8 weeks. Oh, that's amazing. Allie, you do live a wonderful life. And she says, I love the quilt behind you. It's sunny and very windy here today. Good day to get washing dry. Have a great weekend. Love, Allison. Aw. Thanks for writing and have a great trip. And thanks for that tip. Stapling is definitely a good way to go. Hi, Norma. Norma says, I'm excited to be home tonight and get to watch FiberCast, and I'm very excited to get to do the mystery quilt. Hope you and everyone have a great weekend. You too. It's going to be fun. Carol! Hi, your fabric is on its way. Hope you and the FiberCasters have had a good week, says Carol. I have already downloaded Clue 1, and I'm thinking about fabric choices, but I'm going to wait for the arrival of my brown bag, she says. Sounds good. You may imagine, here's a little clue, since I haven't, think of a piece of fabric that might work with any color combination. But that's exciting. It should get there soon. Probably a few more days because it had to go further to get to you, but it will get there. She says, as we have now passed the birthdays and other family celebrations that happen in July and August, I'm getting back to finishing some of the projects I put to one side to ensure that birthday gifts were completed on time. On looking in the corner where the yet-to-be-completed project sits, I am trying to avoid the dreaded expression UFOs. You're so funny. She says, I found a small project that I had completely forgotten about, and I finished it. Ooh, I love it. Last year I made a black and white quilt for myself and planned to make some matching pillowcases, so I made some pieced panels from the same fabrics to attach to some pillowcases. Oh, this is cool. Oh, those must look so funky on your bed. Can you see this? So the panels there are across the top of the pillowcases. Oh, I love that. Bright black and white. I like that. Carol also says, I also had a look at the 9 patches that I've been making as leaders and enders and found that I had enough to make a lap quilt, and so this week I pieced it together. This afternoon I was able to layer it with its batting and backing, and I'll start quilting it on Saturday. Says, sorry about the quality. Oh, it's not bad at all. Of the picture, the purple blocks do go all the way around as the border. While I'm watching you, I'll be cleaning my machine, ready to quilt it. Oh, that's good. Look at this. Oh, I love that too. That is crisp and clean looking. Look at that. Wow, you've been very productive. Oh, good. Makes me feel better for sitting here for a whole 60 minutes and not creating something. Carol, thanks for checking in, and thanks for being a patron. What a week. Nicely done. Betty, welcome to Simply Colorful. Cheryl, welcome. Dawn, hello, and thank you. She says, super excited about the Mystery Quilt project. Question, how much color M, medium blue fabric, will I need for the quilt top if using a different backing material? Enjoy the long weekend, says Dawn. Great question. Color M, if you're not using it for the backing, you will need 5/8 of a yard. That's all you'll need. Good question. Enjoy the long weekend to you, too. Beth Allen. Beth Allen, Beth Allen, Beth Allen. Beth and I have a joke that I always say her last name. She says, "Happy Labor Day weekend, Lynn and Fibercasters." Beth says, she reports, "I'm in New York City for a week, dog tired each night, so no stitching is happening. It's still all tucked in my suitcase." Oh, I feel your scenario, Beth. I have carted more projects around this country. You know, when I go to work, when I travel for my work, very rarely do I pull it out. I try to do it on the plane, and I do it some. But once I get there in the evenings, I'm like you. I don't. Oftentimes it stays right in the suitcase. Anyway, don't feel bad. New York City is awesome. That's great that you got to go there. Beth says, "I'm so excited to start the Brown Bag Mystery Quilt." Ooh, I went to, well, it should be there when you get home. This will be on your doorstep. She says, "Ooh, I went to the City Quilter today, and sadly, they're closing mid-October after 20 years of business. I thought I saw that online. That's right. Yikes. It sounds like the NYPD is coming in the hotel. Something is happening out there. Happy stitching all, Beth." Woo! Well, thanks for signing off. I would have worried. Hopefully, you're okay. I'm sure you are. Thanks for checking in, and have a great time in New York. Patty in Texas. Are you in Texas or are you in Pennsylvania? She's in the heart of Texas. She says, "Hello, Lynn and Fibercasters. I'm still quilting on the Hexi quilt. Can't wait to catch your show later and hear what everyone is working on. See you after dinner with the folks. Can't wait." Oh, good for you. I hope your mom's doing okay. Sue, one of these is coming your way tomorrow. Sue also reports, "Glad it's Friday. Amen." She says, "I've been working on my scrappy Hexi." Oh, I'm psyched that you sent a picture. Check this out. Wow. So when many of these, you create a scrap with multiple pieces and then you turn it into a Hexi, right? Wow. Oh. Huh, Sue also reports she started to teach herself how to crochet the basket weave pattern. She's making a scarf for herself. She'll have pictures in a few weeks once it gets a little bigger. Great. I also am going to join Patreon once I get my act together. Might not do the mystery, but can I still get the yard of fabric? Absolutely. Absolutely you can. And she says, "I'm a fabric hog." Who amongst us isn't? It's just, it's what we do. Ay, ay, ay. Here's a picture of the Hexi quilt so far. Just scraps from my scrap bag and 2 solid colors to tie it together. Oh, that is smart. So that's the blue and the pink. So check this out, everyone. She's using blue and pink throughout, and that's tying it together. That's a good idea. Carolyn, hello, and thank you. This will be on its way. Evelyn, hello. Out there in California, thank you. This is on its way. Denise, thank you. So many people to thank. Gay, I saw that you received the brown bag. That's wonderful. Okay. Whoops. Ooh. Sounds like they're having fun down there. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Marquet's out there on site. Hi. She says, "Colors for the Brown Bag Mystery." She says, "Hello, Lynn and the gang. Here is what I've chosen for the mystery, but I'm not sure on my colors, so I may be buying fabric." One question, can you use solid colors, or is it best to use modeled prints? You can definitely use solid colors. Yep, good question. I didn't understand the modified pertaining to fabric, so please tell me which ones you would remove. Okay, we'll look at it together. She says, so I missed them singing the song Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress. I will have to rewatch the show. Do that. I'm going to, too, watch the beginning and see if I can hear it or listen to it. Jean heard it. And we'll request an encore next week if you don't get to the beginning of the show. But it's because of you they played that song. So you should be that's a first. That is a first. I have to buy more gray, but I'm showing what I think you might be talking about as far as color. She says, I'm going to buy the mystery bag. Just got to find out what is wrong with my PayPal account. Oh, but if I get it fixed this weekend, I'll purchase it then. Well, I'm loving these colors. Reminds me of fall. I took the color with 2 different options. Not sure if there's a difference. I saw the 2-color delight on the wall looking good. Have a great weekend, everyone. Your sewing friend, Marquet. And Marquet has sent us her fabrics, and those look like they will work. In fact, I like them a lot. Can you see those? So she has her yellows, her oranges, her blues, her dark red, and her dark browns. Yeah, I like this, and you have your tan. The blues look a little... Did you take one blue out? Oh, here's even a better picture. Oh, it's just brighter. Those will work. Good job. Light, dark, light, dark. You got it. I'm not sure where you're going to use the gray, though. That'll be interesting. P.S. She says, when you say dark red, do you mean wine, rust, or just a darker of a bright red? And what about patterns? Will that make a difference? Thanks for your help. Oh, Marquet. Of course. I'm so glad you're asking these questions. They can have a pattern in them. A smaller pattern will be better. So not a large pattern. They can be solid. We talked about that. As far as the red, whether it's on the wine side or the bright side, here's the thing about the colors. You want this is where the color wheel, we have to pull out your color wheel. If you're going to go with wine, make sure that when you look across, I think it's either a split complementary. See, this is where you just want them all to be the same. So if all of your colors are going to be bright, use all bright. Like it looks like here, actually your yellows, your oranges, and your blues to me feel brighter than this red. So you might want to brighten that up a little bit. Now that's what the picture's telling me. And I know this is a mystery. I can't tell you too much more than that. How's that for really being obscure? But so let me show you the colors that we're using here, and show you that. And I have to say, I'm learning this, so I'm not. And I should have pulled out my color wheel, but I didn't. See how my blues, so I've got a dark blue, a medium blue, and a couple of light blues. Oh, and another medium blue. But see how when I call these medium and light blues, there's a lot of green in them. So the opposite of green is red. But because this green has a little yellow in it, the reds I need to have a little purple in. You know what I mean? So you just have to look at your color wheel. The color wheel is the rule. It's rule of the land. Look at that. Make sure on the back where it's saying whether it's split complementary or analogous or just pure complementary. Make sure your colors are in one of those schemes. I hope that helps. Okay, so next, PSS. Ah, Marquet, you crack me up. Marquet has been nominated to ask these questions, and I'm going to decide. She says, PSS, is there going to be any white or cream, or is the light beige and the light blue going to act as the white? Thank you again. You are correct. The light beige and the light blue is going to act as your white. So the answer is, ooh, you don't need to get any more white. Okay, PSSSS. Are there so many PSSSSs? Marquet says, is there... Oh, she says, is it better to use dark colors or brights? Brights would be my vote. Happy Labor Day weekend to you and everyone, and thank you again. You are on the right track here with your brights. Love that. You'll see I have, these are quite bright. Although they're you know, they're not as bright as they could be, but they're bright. And for my green, oh, for my blue, I kind of went aqua instead of your bright blue, but you're on track. So these are my colors. Let's go to our swatch. Swatch sheet. Okay. Oh, I just saw Colleen's out there. I have to say hi. Hello, Colleen. Thanks for joining. I'm so glad you're on. Okay, the swatch sheet. There are two files on today's clue. There's clue number 1, and then there is this file. Print it out. And you're going to see the first color, A, is a medium yellow. So I literally got my P, and you'll notice these aren't oh, I'm having a hard time with my words today. They're not pure solid, but they certainly read like a solid color. But I like them because you could see the weave. My dark red is this red. Medium orange is that. Another P and PB textile. Then the dark blue here is a hand spray by RJR Fabrics. I got these from all over the quilt store. I had a good time. Then this is a light blue, and you'll see that the amounts are needed here. So this one, we needed 1 3/8. The light blue, 5/8. And you can read this. I really don't have to go through all of these. I just wanted to show you my colors. This one's my medium blue. This one's a pretty important one. So color F, make sure you like that one. You need 1 yard and 7/8. That's going to be important. Then for your dark, your very darkest, the darkest value you're going to use in your quilt, I again used P and B, and I really like this. It's got the weave. It's mainly black with a little bit of gray in it. That's a good choice. Then the light tan, and to Marquet's question, this is the lightest. This and your light blue are the lightest that you're going to add to the mystery quilt. Dark brown, you only need 1/2 yard. Although I noticed that, yeah, I think I only got 1/4 yard. But you need 1/2 yard. Then for your second light blue, again, I went more on the teal side. You need 1/4 yard of that. Aha! And then dark orange, you need 1 yard of that. This also you want to make sure you really like. So I would say, you know, if you change your mind and you say, okay, instead of blue and orange, I want to use red and green, or I want to use yellow and purple, right? Complements. Those are your main colors. So let me say that one more time. As we're getting near the end, again, the clue this week, or the ask this week, is to pick out your fabric. So again, color F and color K. I really want you to like those two colors, and then build the other colors around those colors and the values accordingly. Okay? Feel free to send me questions throughout the week, or send me your picture of your fabrics, and I'll let you know if I think it'll work. And then you need a medium orange, and again, your backing. And to Dawn's question, if you don't want to use your backing also in the front of your quilt, you only need 5/8 of a yard tack. So, again, use your swatch sheet. You're going to refer to that for the next 8 weeks. And with that, let's see who else is out there. I cannot believe we spent a whole hour talking and we didn't even make anything. I'm so glad you're out there. And Wendy in Australia, I hope your coffee is good. Happy Saturday morning. And your and Crystal's bag and t-shirt are on its way. Wendy says, hello from Australia to Lynn and everyone. This is going to be so exciting, she says. I think I just might have to go and buy fresh new fabrics. Oh boy. It's the first mystery quilt for me, so I feel a bit like a kid. Oh, this is fun. This is good timing for me because I was trying to decide what quilt to make for our, wait for it, our caravan. Yes, we are hoping to buy one and hit the great Aussie road once Luke finishes year 12 in November. I would love to meet up with other FiberCasters here that travels in one and sews. Oh, this is so exciting. So Wendy is in Australia. She's buying a caravan. She's going on the road. So if there are any other quilters out in Australia who want to meet up, she's very interested. Love this. You're living our dream. She says, this hue and value lesson you are doing is interesting. I can see Crystal and I having a ball doing this together and playing with colors to choose. Oh, good. Good, good, good. She says, thank you, Lynn and Karen, for putting this all together. Let's play together, Wendy. You've got it. Karen and I are scheduled to do a joint Google Hangout, and we're going to go over clue 2 and 3. So look for that on Patreon. And with that, let's see. No, I guess we're... What other questions might there be? Let me make sure I've said hello. Did I say hi to Sherry? I hope I said that right. C-H-E-R-E. Your bag's on its way tomorrow. Thank you. I think that's it. Let me just check Lynn at Simply Colorful. So glad you're all out there, and I'm so glad you want to play in this mystery quilt. Again, send me any questions. I think I've gotten to everyone. Ideas. Let me know if there are different ways you'd like to experience the mystery quilt. You know, as I say, we're going to do the bonus show with Karen, and we're doing that at least once a month. Maybe we'll do more. And let's see, I think that's about it. This is the assignment. Get your swatch, get your fabrics together, and the next clue will be published next Friday morning by 7 a.m. And I promise you, we are going to get moving next week. You will be using your cutter, and I think I'm not going to be able to help myself. We're going to get a little sewing in. So with that, thank you all for joining. Need to get the hair off my face. I'm looking forward to this. I hope you are too. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next week here at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone. Happy Labor Day.